Hey there, folks. This is part 2 of 2 with actor, improviser, and writer Carl Tart. If you've had your TV on in the last 5 years or listened to literally any podcast besides this one, you've heard him. He's going to grace your ears again this week. We're grateful for all the time he gave us. And now we're getting into the customer service stuff. So this is the good stuff. Enjoy. We are back, and now it's time for the entrees. Okay, Carl, this is the speed round of questions. You can feel free to add stories if you'd like, but this is where he did do customer service, folks. That's why he's on the podcast. So, okay, this is, like I said, speed round of questions. You answer with stories if you want. Otherwise, you can just speed through them. It's totally up to you. But what was your first job ever where the government was taking taxes out? And this, I wouldn't include you as like a child actor or the background work that you were doing when you were younger, but like a first customer service job that you were doing.
Gotcha. Rite Aid. I was working at the Rite Aid on National Boulevard in unincorporated West Los Angeles. And
that's a commentary that most people won't pick up on. Keep going. Okay.
And I was working at the Rite Aid. I had just come home for winter break from my first semester at college, and my friends were working there. I went in there to see my homies one day and get some free ice cream. And I was like, wait, all y'all work here? It was like 3 homies that was working there. So I was like, I get a job? And I had never had like a real job like that. And so I'm 18 years old. This is November. This is just for wintertime, but they do hiring in wintertime. They need more staff and stuff like that. And so I went and talked to the manager. And I was like, hey, I'm home from college for 4 months. Like, can I get a job? Like, I was home from November to February. Like, it was like a long break. And so, because I did summer bridge program at the first school. So that's how I was an engineering major. And so I did summer bridge, and plus I was training basketball. And so I got to come home. And I got to go home from Thanksgiving, basically, to February when we went back to school.
It's a whole lot of bragging all at once. Like, that's the most hardcore you flexed on the whole podcast. Like, I got 4 months off. I was an engineering major. Summer bridge. All right, Carl, flex. Keep going.
But yeah, so I came home. She was like, yeah, you can get a job. Fill out this application, and then you can work here. And she gave me a shirt, and it was a circus working there with my friends.
I was just supposed to say constant nonsense. You working with
constant nonsense. It was constant nonsense. These were my friends from high school. I had missed them, hadn't been around them in 6-7 months. Since we graduated, we was kind of adults now. It was great. It was great. We ate so much ice cream. I was so out of shape when I went back to hoop.
Was it constantly like just clowning on each other too? Like the customers must have absolutely loved the performance art of you with your buddies.
Oh my gosh, it was a mess at the cash register. Like it was a complete mess. But we did our job though. But load night, when we have to like bring all the stuff in, we ate so many products that like if they were like trying out a new thing, like TGI Fridays got these ketchup. I remember this one product. Burger King had ketchup and fries chips, but they only sent like 2 bags to put on the stands. Yeah. Because they was like, we're just trying this out. So they've sent like 2 bags. And it was like, man, these is getting 8. Okay. Like these are not. And we would just trip out on load night, and then we quit the job, and then I went back to college.
Wow.
So Rite Aid was that first job.
Oh, I bet that was really, it sounds like an insane amount of fun. Did they notice that the chips were eaten by the? Yeah,
okay. She was kind of turning the eye. Turn the blind eye.
That's a good manager. That's a fun manager is what that is.
She was cool.
How many customer service jobs have you had? And feel free to count them. So Rite Aid is 1.
Rite Aid, UCLA Conference Services.
Ooh.
Barney's Beanery, and that's it.
That's it. Okay, just 3?
Yeah.
Okay, now I am going to throw background work back into this mix though, because I feel like when you're in the game doing that, there's a version of customer service because you are trying to appease the needs of a lot of people around you and be very not seen, but also seen, but not seen.
Yeah.
And that game gets old. So I'm going to add that. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll give you 4. Not a lot, but that's okay. It still counts. Which one was your favorite? Now, we obviously know comedy and writing, and that's all your favorite. I mean, of the customer service jobs, of the 4 we just mentioned.
Barney's.
Okay, yeah. Why?
Working at a bar is cool.
Okay.
It can be like it was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I think I was riding a high of just finally being home from Amsterdam.
Oh yeah.
But that was just like the people were cool that I worked with. The bar atmosphere is cool. You get off work and get to get drunk with your coworkers. Like I was a bouncer, but there was never really that many issues.
Okay.
Then I got moved up to food runner. That was hard. Then I got moved up to server. Was like, definitely do not want to do this. I'm too slow. Like I'm not a fast mover like that.
So why did you move though from security up? Because you would think like security is a very specific, like they wanted a tall person that could, just like check IDs. Why would they move you to food runner? Or did you tell them you wanted to do service?
No, that was like the trajectory.
Oh, okay.
Because the security is not like security at these bars. Like you have to get a guard card, but it's like host.
Oh, you know what I mean? Okay.
So
you weren't in all black. You were like.
I was either all black or a Barney's t-shirt or something like that, or like a. Okay. I liked wearing the Barney's polo because it made me look more official.
Then people gave you less trouble.
But then they're like, "We need help food running. Carl, you want a food run?" Like it was just like the trajectory to make more money and get tips and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And so I food ran. I was security and food runner for like a year, and then they were like, "Hey, Carl, you gonna take the server test?" And I was like, I think I'm cool. Like this feels hard. And they're like, "Nah, man, you're good. Like you can talk to people. Like you good. Like you can do it." And so I did. I was a server for like a few months and was just like, man, I don't think I want to do, like, please don't schedule me on those nights, like Saturday nights and then like that. Or if you do, like, give me like 4 tables. Like, that's all I can handle. I'm not tripping off the tips. Like, I can't do this. Like,
this is not,
it was too hard.
Me. Yeah.
People who are servers, like, you deserve the most respect in the world because it is a hard job. It is hard. I was not good at it. It's not good at it. Also, I wasn't trying to wear that apron.
Why?
And I didn't. I would wear my Barney's polo. Be like, what's good, y'all?
They're like, where's your apron? You're like, I'm good. There's nothing on my body.
I'm finna hold this checkbook and write down your orders if I need to. I was decent at it, but I just was too slow. You got to move really fast when you're a server.
Yeah.
Also, nobody ever wants ranch when you first come to the table, and then all of a sudden they want ranch when you come back. It's like, I just came out the kitchen. But Barney's was fun, man. Had a lot of good friends there. The bar, like a fun bar atmosphere is really dope. I had a good time.
Why were you able to quit? Was it because you got a writing job?
It was Mad TV.
Mad got you out of there. Okay.
And I still worked at Barney's the first 2 months of Mad TV.
Don't we do that though when we're just not sure? That's so lovely.
I don't know what this. I don't know how this is gonna be, especially because honestly I needed the tips because checks take a long time to start coming.
Yeah, they do.
And so I didn't get paid for the first like 5 weeks of work at Mad. And so I was like, I still gotta put gas in the car to get here every day.
Hello.
So I'm gonna go ahead and keep waiting these tables and doing the security on nights. Yeah. And
that's so
and
honest.
Then finally, my availability had dropped down so low because I was at Mad all day, and then on the weekends I was on the house teams at UCB. So I was like, I can't.
You're like, my availability is from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, and that's it.
And but on Saturdays mornings and Sunday mornings, I was working football.
That is we've had another, Danny King was a guest on the podcast earlier who worked at Barney's for a long time and said football was you'd make the most money, but you would have your ass actually handed to you. Like,
you never stop. You never get a chance to take a break.
Oof.
You never get a chance to take a break on football.
Yeah, no thanks.
Except for your actual break. People want stuff constantly.
Ugh. What was your least favorite of the 4 jobs?
Damn. Which one's that? I would say, I guess background had to be.
Really? More so? Yeah. Less appealing than the UCLA conference services?
Yeah, because I like coworkers.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
you like
if I get along with my coworkers, it's a good day, you know?
Yeah.
And I liked all my coworkers at UCLA. We ain't have no drama. We ain't have no fun.
Okay.
That was hard. It was hard at times because it was like, you know, moving a lot of tables and chairs around, setting up for all those banquets, having to quickly turn rooms. Like, all right, we had a 250 person classroom in here. Now we got to turn this into a 500 person dinner. And
that's kind of fast though too. I mean, how are you able to balance because the service and that? I mean, I guess it's not if it's just plating stuff, but like that's pretty fast.
I was moving tables. So the catering, there's conferences and catering.
Oh,
and so I was conferences, and catering would put plates and tables. Now we did have to put tablecloths,
I got
but
you.
they would plate. They would do the plating and everything. And I also was slow at that, and I would get in trouble because I was slow at it.
The shade. Okay. They were mean to you, Carl. I don't like that. So your least favorite was background. Why?
Oh, Hollywood Video. I forgot about Hollywood Video.
You worked at Hollywood Video?
I worked at Hollywood Video, yes.
Where? In Mississippi? No, you would have been too young. Where?
Las
out
Vegas,
here?
Nevada.
Oh, and when the hell were you in Vegas?
My mom moved to Vegas after I graduated high school. After that first semester of college, that winter break I told you about.
Yeah.
She moved to Vegas in like March.
Whoa.
And didn't tell me like that she was going to. Like she had been hinting at it, but my mom's a big talker, like all the time.
Okay.
And then finally in March, she was just like, we moved. Like, here's the new house. I'm like, what you mean here's the new house? And she moved to Vegas. So when I left college that May, I had to move to Vegas for a little while before I got an opportunity to come back to LA and stay with a friend.
Okay, and that wasn't the same Rite Aid summer, right? That was a Rite Aid break.
No,
that
so
was
the Rite Aid was the winter.
Winter, that's right. Okay.
Rite Aid was winter 2007 going into 2008.
Okay.
Hollywood Video was summer of 2008. So after I left college, after basketball was over.
Okay.
And that last semester I spent at a 4-year university. And that was I worked at Hollywood Video for like six months, and then I got the opportunity to come back to LA and stay with my friend.
And what
Watts.
What were you doing at Hollywood Video?
Working a register and then stocking videos. And reason why I thought about it just now, because I was slow at that too. Because on nights when we had to put out new releases, my bosses would be like, "Hey, you talking too much? Like, I need you to like," because I'm like, again, enjoying my coworkers. Be like, anyway, man. So I'm just and I'm talking. I'm like, we friends, we having fun, and they'd be like, you need to move faster. We have to close the store, but these need to be out before we close. The store closes at midnight. We are like we're barely halfway done with putting these movies out. You need to put them out. The other boy and girl needs to be on this wall before midnight.
And so you were slow at that. Okay.
Yeah, I was slow at that.
So, but your least favorite's still background work.
Yeah, background had to be the least favorite.
Okay, why?
Because there were times where, and again, I still have fun at that too. I've liked all my jobs. You making me think about this now. I think I've liked all my jobs, but the days where background sucks was like 5 a.m. cattle calls.
Ooh, yeah, that's rough.
Like,
yes.
And you're not making any money. So I had to wake up and get on the bus at 4:45 in the morning or 3:45 in the morning to be at Santa Clarita at 5 o'clock in the morning, to stand on my feet all day in Alvin and the Chipmunks 2. And
that's a real story. I bet that actually happened that you just said.
Yeah, in the concert.
I'm so excited.
And then work being few and far in between. But then once I got regular spots in background, once I was working, when I first started and didn't have a calling service and was just like calling the line, trying to like calling central casting, trying to get gigs, that was the worst. Because you maybe will work once every 2.5 weeks. Ugh. And it would be one of those like cattle calls, like, we just need 500 black people for this, like, to do this and get them to the Greek.
Oh, or whatever. It's wicked. It's so wicked. I remember
working on that movie. But then when I got a calling service, who like is a middleman, you pay $75 a month, which usually like you sacrifice one check. But I was looking young at that time, and so I was able to be on Greek every day or Glee every day, and that's 5 days a week because I'm high school kid, like Letterman jacket high school kid, and I get to do that every single day. And I would just walk from because I didn't have a car yet. I would just walk from Paramount to Second City and hang out at night and watch the shows or whatever,
And that's such a fun. I mean, looking back, I think that those are the lean times, but those aren't the aggressively terrible lean times if they're truncated. If they go on for a long time, they're not super fun. But if it's a brief period of time, you get to look back and be like, oh, that's kind of fun. What's the weirdest thing that you've been asked to do whilst on the clock?
Let me think here.
Take your time.
So, okay. So, background story. I got a couple. A background story. Because it's hard to weird things when you do background. There's a lot of weird things.
A lot of weird things.
But so I'll tell you the story of being on this TV show Hung, the Thomas Jane story where he was a prostitute and a baseball coach. I was on his baseball team, and we had to basically run like a real baseball practice for 8 hours one day. And so it was like very
come
hard.
on.
And then they aired the episode and they played literally 7 seconds of that. And I was hot. I was hot as fish grease when I watched that. I was like, for real, y'all had us. We were like bleeding and bruised at the end of the day. And and also they had us do it for 8 hours. So there's a background kind of saying when you do background, you want either 4 or 14.
Yep.
Either send me home early or give me overtime.
Yep.
If you do an 8-hour day and that check comes and it's only $58 at that point, that's you mad as hell.
Yep.
Like, like if you do an 8-hour day and that day was exactly 8 hours, our call time was 9 a.m. We were wrapped at 5.
Yep. And they make you sign that sheet saying you were out the door at 5 o'clock on the dot. Ugh.
And so we were all like, like all these dudes, like who a lot of them, because we were all kind of dudes on that high school circuit at the time, so we knew each other, and we were all like, "Oh my god, like this hurts so bad. Oh, I'm hurt, and this check is gonna be $58. Oh, this sucks. Like no stunt bump, no stunt bump, no, because we weren't union. We were non-union background. We just had to get paid what we got paid.
And you should have gotten stunt. I mean, you should have. That's insane that they didn't. And oh, I would have been real pissed when I saw 3 seconds of myself getting.
I didn't even see myself. That's how fast it went.
Carl, I would have been so mad.
We were going at it all day, like real hard baseball conditioning all day.
What's the other?
They had like a real coach out there telling us like what to do to get these real shots. And I was like, we are actors.
Please be kind to us.
Yeah.
What's the other one? You had 2 stories. What's the other one?
Oh, the other one was drunk people at Barney's, kicking people out. I don't even know if I can talk about this.
You sure can.
I think I will, because I think it's closed now, and it wasn't like a real case or anything.
Oh.
But one night a cop came in and got too drunk, and I had to remove him from the bar.
Ooh.
Didn't know he was a cop until later, and that was a whole ordeal. And yeah.
Did he come after you? Are you allowed to? No.
Kind of in a way, but he was like so drunk. It wasn't, but he was like he was so drunk. And he started like choking this woman in the bar. And then I was like, all right, you're done. And like tossed him. And everybody's like, that was a cop. And I'm like, oh shit, I am dead.
Literally, I am actually dead.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And yeah, but that we had to go to court and stuff for all that because he was trying to get his job back and stuff like that.
He got fired?
He did get fired. He got fired.
Well, he shouldn't have put his hands on a woman in public.
She was a cop too. She was his partner, and I think they were having an affair, an illicit affair.
Oh, Carl, why are you leaving out all these details?
Because I'm trying to not go. I'm not trying to get sued.
You're trying to not get killed too. Okay, we'll just move past it. Okay, that's pretty weird. There? Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Did you want to add anything?
Nah, and other than that, just like stopping the people from having sex in the bathroom.
Oh, that happens a lot. How much cocaine did you see at Barney's?
A lot. A lot of cocaine being done in the bathroom, stopping people from having sex. You see a couple walk in and be like, all right. Hey, nope. Gotta come out of here. Yeah.
Nope, not the place to fuck. But also hearing the and then being like, hey, can't do that here. What are you talking about? I have a cold.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that cold is becoming a powder under your nose.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's
must be freezing out here
in these LA streets? Yeah. What is an incident that made them ask to speak to your manager, or you're too personable? I imagine you haven't had any.
I'll give you one.
Oh, you have one.
It wasn't my fault though.
That doesn't.
A group of dudes, and this would happen a lot. I'll tell you another detail about this off the air. But
okay, I'll write a note down.
Yeah, write it in the notes. Okay. But you know how all service workers, and I'm saying this as a black person who overtips because I know how service workers think about black people sometimes. But yeah, exactly. Y'all call them Canadians or whatever, but
that is so offensive. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, it's offensive as hell. But
and they do.
This group of dudes came in and they ordered a ton of food.
This was at Barney's.
This is at Barney's. They ordered a ton of food: wings, chicken tenders, fries, chili, everything that Barney's got to offer. And I loaded up their table, got them all their ranch and sour cream and ketchup and everything they wanted. Got their drinks, everything. Thanks, bro. You're dope, bro. What's your name? Carl. Thanks, Carl. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Blah, 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 blah.
At what point did they walk out on the bill?
They didn't walk out on the bill. They didn't need to walk out because they got the bill for free because they called me back and go, hey, bro, question. Do these wings got garlic? And I was like, like maybe like they're hot wings. Like I'm sure there's probably garlic. Oh yeah, because the ingredients is not on the menu. And my homie here is allergic to garlic. And I'm like, what? Like they're hot wings. Like hot wing seasoning has garlic. Like, oh bro, like it's not your fault, bro. It's not your fault. But like, could you get the manager?
Had they eaten all of it at that point?
They had eaten everything. They had eaten everything. And they left me a $4 tip. They were like, we're going to take care of you, bro. We're going to take care of you. They left me a $4 tip. And I was like, I thought y'all going to take care of me. I mean, I don't care that y'all didn't eat the meal, but I thought y'all was going to take care of me like you said you was. They got the whole bill count. And they had ordered like $180 something.
And left
and
you
drinks.
$4. Even a 10% tip would have been $18. Like,
yeah. At least leave me a 20, bro. Y'all didn't have to pay for anything.
Nothing, zero.
At least leave me a 20.
You had $200 essentially taken care of. That is bonkers. And could you I have said this before on the podcast. It's usually the people who are like, oh, I work in the industry. I got you. Or I used to, not if they currently do, but, oh, I used to work in the industry. I got you. The people who overly emphatically continue to say, I got you, don't got you. Ever.
They don't got you.
Ever.
They don't got you. It's not your fault, bro. It's not your fault. Like, I'm like, yeah, I know it's not my fault. Like, you don't put that. Nobody puts the ingredients to buffalo sauce on a menu.
Nobody.
And they knew that. They knew that.
That was the angle. Ooh. And see, also, if you actually have that level of an allergy, you ask at the top of the meal and you say, look, I know the ingredients aren't listed. I have to know how this is prepped. And if it's not prepped the way I need it to be, I can't eat here. Full stop. That's it.
But they knew the rules.
Yeah, they did.
It was like a grift. Like they know, like if you don't, technically, if you don't tell me, you either have to give me the food for free or I could sue you.
Ooh, that's gross. That's great. Now, somebody listening, usually our listeners are great, but somebody listening just got a tip. It's like,
I don't know if it works everywhere.
Well, it worked at Barney's. Yeah. But, what is the last straw that got you out of any of your customer service jobs? Because I know writing got you out of, most of them. But what was there an incident or like a last straw incident that happened where you were like?
I would say the drunk cop incident was like, I don't need this. The drunk cop incident. Oh, and one night a drunk dude was picking up coasters and tossing them down the bar. This is on St. Patrick's Day, which is always a terrible day to work in a bar.
Facts.
Like St. Patrick's Day, the night before Thanksgiving, days like that. And he's picking up our Super Bowl Sunday, and he's picking up coasters and he's tossing them down the bar. And this is Barney's in an area that is not great, and he's gonna get his ass whooped by some people in there. And so I walk up to him and say, hey man, don't do that. And he looks me dead in my eyes and picks one up and tosses it.
Oh, this is someone who didn't get enough hugs as a kid.
Yeah. As I grab him and say, you're out. I'm a fucking regular. You fucking, using unsavory words to describe me.
Ooh.
And my boss at the time was like, he's a regular, man. I was like, I don't give a fuck about his regular. He not keeping the lights on in here. He's not that damn regular.
And did he call you outside of your name?
He did, from across the street after I kicked him out. Because the first time I was gonna kick him out, and I told the boss, say, hey man, I'm getting this dude out of here. He's being a bitch. Relax. He's drunk. It's cool, dude. Like he's a regular, blah, blah, blah. He kept fucking with people. He kept fucking around with people. And then I got him out at that point. I was like, you're done. He's done. And my boss gave me the okay. Like, okay, yeah, you can send him home. And he's across the street. And this was the only time I got called because the cop also was doing it. And then that guy was across the street doing it. Come over here, I'll fuck you up. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, man, I'll beat your ass.
Yeah, please.
I'll stomp you into the ground.
Come over here. Come back over here.
Yeah. But that night was a straw. One night I had to deal with some dudes who were messing with some girls, and they were like giving like the safe phrase, and then they threatened to jump me, and they were like circling the bar at night. So I'm standing out after I kicked them out. Their car keeps like driving by, like throwing shit out and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, man, now I gotta careful. Like, so I asked my boss to leave early that night. Just like, all right, these dudes hit the block. Like, yo, man, can I go home? Because these dudes look like they're gonna try to do something to me.
Do something to you. Yeah. Oof.
And it's just one of me. It was like a Tuesday night. It was like a night that wasn't even busy.
I have said this 100 times. I'm going to say it again. Like, I don't understand people that go out looking to have either a bad time or a terrible time. I like to just, your flex is you're going to try and physically assault either a woman or someone who's employed at the establishment because why? Like, you're mad that you have a small dick. Like, I don't, it just doesn't, I will never understand that. Stay home, beat up a pillow. Like, I just, like, why did you bring all this toxicity out? We don't need it. We're too busy.
Like, you don't want, like, I knew these guys didn't want no cop action.
Hello.
And so I shouldn't have let them in the first place. But I'll admit, when they walked up, I was like, I can't turn them down now.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, man, y'all gonna be cool? Like, straight up, like, y'all gonna be cool? Like, I ain't gonna have no issues out of y'all? And one dude's like, nah, man, it's cool, bro. We ain't got no issue, blah, blah. But I'm like, y'all gonna be cool? Like,
come on.
I'm from around here.
Yeah.
Like, are y'all gonna be cool? And they wasn't cool.
Ugh, and you knew you.
And then I kicked them out, and they kept like circling, spitting out the window, or like through a bottle or some shit. And I'm like, yo, man, I'm out, dude. Like, and my boss was like, yeah, it's cool. Like, I'll have some couple people walk with you or whatever.
Jesus.
I'm like, just let me get to my car, and I'm bouncing.
Ooh, I've had one of those with the walk me to my car because I think these people are gonna come back and like be strapped. Oh, I hate that shit. It's to what end? To what? Yeah. Anyway, have you ever told a customer to fuck off?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how so?
But not in the heat of just those, like, people like that, like dudes who have had to kick out who talk shit, or girls who have to kick out who talk shit. And I fuck off is like strong. I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, I'm more just like, all right, but you don't, like, you don't want these issues, like, you don't, because most of them, they talk a big game, and then you stand in front of them, and you see this shoulder width, and you see this, like, you don't want this, you don't want these issues.
Carl is a beefy, muscly, tall, massive. Like, he will come for you with his size. Keep going.
But honestly, Kate, you know me. I don't want the issues either.
No, that's not your style at all.
Yeah.
At all. Yeah.
But I'll give them to you gladly.
If you ask, you're asking. Yeah. You've said, could I please? And I'm like, I'll deliver. I'm a performer.
Have these problems?
Yes.
Okay. I got to give them to you. You said please.
Yeah. You were very polite in your pursuit of these issues.
Yeah.
How many bodily fluids have been on your person whilst you were working on the clock?
Just vomit.
Ooh, you marked the first person besides me that's been puked on. I talk about it all the time. You were puked on?
Yeah.
Oh, how did it happen?
Young lady, probably 21.
Sure.
Fresh, like ID was real.
But
I checked it. I ran it. I did not believe it.
Newly minted.
Real small, but definitely like freshly 21. Got too drunk.
Ooh.
Passed out in the bathroom.
Ooh.
Our friend, we can't find our friend. Ooh. All right. Knock, knock, knock. Man coming in.
Ooh.
Hello? Man coming in. Guard the door. Open it up. She's on the ground. Pick her up. Covered in vomit. And that gets on me.
Oh, God, Carl, it's the worst. Yeah. How did that smell make you sick?
Nah, it was fine. I just switched out Barney's polos. I was like, I'm taking another polo. Because we were only issued like one. I was like, I'm taking another polo.
I have vomit on my person. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to need a new polo.
Yeah.
Bless her. So how'd you get her home? I mean, I
didn't get her home. Her friends, like.
Well, there's a California law that's kind of like you got to be kind of careful about how, well, it doesn't matter. Her friends took her home.
I don't know.
You might get to worry about that. Here we go. You already answered this, but do you tip?
Yeah, hell yeah.
How much?
Like 25-30%.
Yeah, you're like me. Is that just, well, are you, now you had mentioned previously, is that overcompensating for the racism? Okay.
Yeah, I've given some very bad servers a 20% tip, 22% tip. Yeah.
So, well, the next question in this list is, do you ever not tip?
No.
So you will always tip. Is that literally just to fight racism?
Yeah.
Oh, bless you. That's a bummer.
Yeah, I never don't tip. The lowest I'll give is like 15% if I do most of the work.
Wow.
Like at a buffet, like
sure.
I'll leave, like, I'm not gonna tip you 20% of buffet. I got all my food.
I did this.
Like, all you brought me was this root beer.
Oh, root beer's so good. Ooh, yeah. I haven't had a root beer in a long time. Yeah. Okay. So do you find
RIP buffets?
Oh bless. I know.
Yeah.
I miss Soup Plantation. How did you find out about the Canadians thing? Because I just find that so offensive. I try not to even repeat it.
I heard about that. Servers talked about that. Like black servers had told me, like people who worked in other, I think I may have heard that from like a cousin who worked at like Applebee's or something. It was like the white people call black people Canadian.
Yeah, they'll say super offensive things like, "Oh, the table of Canadians, those foreigners are not going to tip me," and shit like that. And there's a long period of time where I didn't. I learned it. It was only when I started bartending serving in St. Louis that I had heard it for the first time, and then I was like, "What? How do they know they're Canadian?" Like, well, like I was so naive. I was like, "Well, that's interesting. I guess because they're they're not from this country, they wouldn't know." But then it kept getting repeated, and I was like, "There's a lot of black people in Canada." Like, I just really didn't. Wow. And then someone was like, "No, idiot. We're, they would never call themselves racist. We're just pointing out the truth." And I was like, "Oh God, that's great."
Oh, so like white people don't tip great.
No,
so I don't understand where this comes from.
It is not possible to pinpoint a certain race and say they do fill in the blank when it comes to customer service or tipping or interacting or whatever. It makes me crazy. It makes me crazy.
I will say this. I've definitely experienced black people having bad manners I've experienced everybody having bad manners, but it really would make me upset when black people would come into Barney's and be so demanding about everything and then not tip well. I'm like, y'all are just fulfilling the stereotype.
Yeah.
And I also have been with my uncle at a restaurant. My uncle came to visit LA and I took him to Yard House and he, didn't want me to pay for it because like, I'm uncle. But also like we split and my uncle makes money. Like he's good. Like he's like an engineer, and he was leaving like a $5 tip or something on like a bill that needed more than $5. I was like, $5? Yeah, it's a tip. Like, he don't understand like the rules of like 20% and stuff like that. So I think a lot of people just don't understand those rules.
Well, and also to be fair, a tip is a gift. It is not a guarantee. And so
it's not mandatory.
No, and even if you go what is considered above and beyond and you're like shining their shoes under the table or whatever, nobody has to give you near even a dime.
Yeah.
Every cent that you get is a donation. Yeah. And so the idea, and I fall into that trap of feeling entitled to tips. And it's like, but you're not. So
you're not entitled. You're technically not entitled to tips.
No.
We are supposed to pay for the food and drinks that we consume. Outside of that, we don't owe you shit.
Facts.
We don't owe you nothing.
Nothing.
So, but it is, of course, I like I said, I never not tip.
Right. It's a social construct. I never not tip too. And I work in a job that I need tips, or I worked. Yeah. Okay. Have you ever been stiffed? Meaning not gotten a tip?
Yeah.
Why? You know what?
Not bad people.
Yeah, people who, I mean, it's hard to pinpoint like, oh, well, I forgot all of their ranch or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like,
no,
they just. I think some people just don't.
I never been stiffed in a way where they like gave me a bad note.
Oh, I've gotten those. Those are fun.
I've seen people get those. I've seen coworkers get those where they're like, "Be nicer." 0. This would have been a tip if you had done this. No, I've never gotten that. Oh, have I? No, I did have some issues at certain times where like questioning some young girls' IDs.
Sure.
And they I don't think they were going to tip me anyway.
Sure. Yeah.
But like, they were like upset that 21-year-old girls do not like to be questioned when it comes to their age.
Oh God.
And they're always looking 15. And you're like, I got to run this ID. Before I give you this adios, motherfucker, I need to run this ID.
Grandpa Carl needs to run this through the blacklight because that's going to show whether or not it's a real ID. And Grandpa Carl can't give you this AMF unless you are actually of age. Sorry. Exactly. There's too many laws in California, though, that fuck us over if we do serve to underage. So no thanks. And there's entrapment all the time. Yeah, correct. And there's entrapment all the time. They send in people with fake IDs. So no thanks. Okay, were you ever fired from a customer service job?
No.
I'm not surprised. Who's the worst customer you can think of that you ever had to interact with? That cop's pretty pretty
That cop was
solid
the
example.
worst.
Yeah,
The cop was the worst. The dude that was throwing that's why these stories stick out in my head. The cop
Sure.
was the worst. The dude that was throwing
the
the
coasters.
coasters was the worst.
Uh-huh.
The 3 dudes who were fucking with girls and then like kept circling the bar to threaten me were the worst.
Yeah.
Uh,
And the people that had the garlic allergy, that's pretty dope.
yeah, those were all probably the worst.
No, they all tie. Those are equally terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now we're going to move on to the good stuff. We hope you saved room for dessert.
Or people who would steal out of Rite Aid.
Ooh, people stole out of Rite Aid?
All the time. Oh my gosh. Girls would come in there and just jack the makeup section.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that with thievery if it's like I need to eat and I don't have no money. I'm still in the bag of chips and clearly because we get like people who will walk in where you go, all right, look, I'm seeing this dude. I'm gonna turn the blind eye for 2 minutes. And if you can get out of here with whatever little snack cake you gonna put in your jacket pocket, do it. But if you lingering, I gotta kick you out. And then I gotta check your pockets. But I also wasn't a bouncer at
Rite Aid.
At Rite Aid.
Yeah.
I could get beat up. And I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that for no job.
No.
So that dude had a shank, and he gonna shank me over a packet of
Little Debbie
Twinkies.
Cakes. Yeah.
Yeah, like nah, man, get that, take it out, go, leave the store now. So that's what I would usually say, like, hey man, it's time to go, let's go, like let's go. But girls who are probably at the beginning stages of Instagram influencers back in the day would come in and with big bags and rob the makeup section.
I mean, they would come in with empty bags, and you would just know what they were about to go do.
You knew what they were doing because they would never come to the counter. So they would just come in with like big bags and walk straight to the makeup and then just walk right out.
Oh, that would have made me so mad.
Yeah.
How do they combat that? There's no way to really do it besides put everything behind a locked.
Yeah, behind the lock thing or whatever, but they didn't do it for the makeup. They do it for like razors.
Who gives a fuck about a razor? A razor costs you $5. Mascara is like $20.
Yeah.
Oof. That would frustrate me. I'm a justice person, though. It gets me into trouble. Too Irish. All right, well, now we're going to move on to the good stuff. We hope you saved room for dessert. What is the nicest thing a customer has done for you whilst you were working?
I used to get gifts at Hollywood Video. People would bring in gifts.
You did not. And you only worked there for 6 months. You're very memorable, Carl.
But people, I mean, that was back when people were still renting movies. That was before Netflix.
Sure.
Like at home. So you still had to rent. So it was Redbox and video stores were still a thing.
Yeah.
And people would bring gifts to there. At Barney's, people brought gifts. I've gotten a couple of bottles of alcohol at Barney's and stuff like that.
I have literally never been brought a gift. I've been extra tipped, but I've never been brought a gift at any of these jobs. You are memorable, Carl.
Extra tip, too. Shout out to Corey Brewer. Corey Brewer was an NBA player, is an NBA player. I think he still plays. He might be on a roster somewhere. Let me Google that. I'm sitting in front of my computer.
Corey Brewer.
Corey Brewer on the
How
roster,
did he slam you down some serious money?
Yeah, he hooked it up.
Well,
he cashed me out.
Your current boss is the most generous tipper I have ever seen, and I interact with a lot of people that could tip with a lot of money. And your boss is why a coworker of mine was able to pay rent. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he tipped.
Dope.
Yes, he's a good human being. Everybody watch that show. I've told the story before, otherwise I would tell it again, but he is a good human being. Big fan. So Corey Brewer, how much are you able to tell us how much he tipped you?
He is retired. Now he's gave me like $150.
Holy, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't suck.
Yeah, he was cool.
Okay.
He's retired now.
So those are the nicest things. So the next question is best tip you've ever gotten. Is that the best tip?
That's the best tip I ever got, yeah.
Okay. Who's the best customer? Apart from like someone who, like a Corey who tipped you well, was there like an interaction that stands out where you're like, oh, that person was amazing?
Nah, because I talk to everybody. And if we have a conversation and you cool, like you're a good customer in my book.
You're the best. Yeah. That is.
So like Corey Brewer gave me a lot of money. But like,
which doesn't suck.
It doesn't suck, but I had random other people that would tip like give me $20 on a $20 bill or something like that, or like good money. But it was more just like if people are cool, people are cool.
Yeah.
I don't have one that stands out so much that I mean I think the people who came in, the regulars at Barney's who bought me a bottle one time, that was really nice of them.
That is sweet. That's a very thoughtful thing, and that means they were thinking of you outside of the interaction that they had with you, which feels genuine. It's different if it's, anybody can write an extra 20, which is still very kind, but it means they had to go out, purchase it, bring it in, and they were like, Carl, it's thoughtful.
Yeah, and they were the regulars that came in there every day that, we would sit out on the patio that we had to kick out every night, and they would never want to leave. They knew they were pains in the ass.
Yeah.
Because, they get entitled. Regulars get entitled.
They sure do. But self-aware, if they're self-aware, though, it helps.
Yeah. They think like, oh, man, I'm coming up in here and spending $8 a night. It's like, we hooking you up most of your drinks.
Yeah.
The bill's always, like, you're not bringing any money in here.
Yeah. Like, you're just a barfly.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're an alcoholic, King.
Sorry,
you come in here and drink 10 Coors Lights and you only pay
for
$20. Yeah.
Okay, what's the best lesson you've personally learned from customer service?
Be kind to everybody and always ask people if they have allergies.
That's good. That's a new one. Okay. What's one piece of advice you would give to customers who interact with customer service workers?
You are not the only customer in the restaurant.
You ain't it. Mm-hmm.
You're not the only one. There are other people in here.
Yep. I just wrote that down.
There are many other customers. Everybody's got to get the same treatment that you got, and there's only one person. Last night I was at Target, and we were in the electronics section because I was with my cousin. And he was buying a TV, and it was just one dude working at the electronics section, and so many people kept walking up, and people were just like, just grunting and like being like, "Is there anybody else? Can I?" But like, lady, it's COVID time. What you can wait. You ain't got nowhere to be. It's nowhere. COVID time.
And it's electronics. None of that's pressing. None of that's going to save anybody's life. You ain't need headphones to listen to your baby's heartbeat.
And that's exactly what the lady was buying. And then she was being very condescending. I don't even know why these headphones are only $30. I don't know why they're locked up.
People steal, like, bitch. Why do you think, like, what were you going to say? Why don't you what?
Like, why don't you buy a cheaper pair that ain't locked up then? Like,
throw those, put those buds in your,
come on, man.
Overly active ears.
Yeah, that was annoying.
But so that's, well, we're still in the dessert section though. But do you have anything else that you feel like the audience needs to know from everything that you've that you've learned from being in customer service? Is there anything else you want to let people know?
Yeah, I think I think as people, we make people think that customer service is there solely to wait on us hand and foot. And that may be a situation, but we're still people. These are not robots. Like, treat people how you want to be treated, and don't you ain't got nowhere to be unless you got somewhere to be. You ain't got nowhere to be. And if you got somewhere to be and you clearly see that it's busy, you just got to move on.
Yeah. Go
somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Go to the next CVS. Mm-hmm. Like, if you got somewhere to be, go to the next one. There at CVS and Walgreens on every corner.
Everywhere. I love it.
Like, treat people how you want to be treated, and understand, like, there's only so much one person can do for you.
That's right. Well, how can people get in touch with you, Carl? Where can the troves of interested women go for some attention from you? What are your socials? Like, how do people get after you?
You can follow me online at Damn It Carl. That's on Instagram. I deleted my Twitter, but that's
why did you delete your Twitter?
It was toxic, terrible.
Twitter is toxic. I agree with that.
Terrible place to be. And I didn't need it.
I agree.
DAMMITCARL. Damn It Carl.
Okay. And that's the rest of your socials. They can find you through that. Or is that just IG?
That's just IG. That's all that's there.
Oh, wow. Okay, good for you. No TikTok?
No TikTok.
I figured that wouldn't be your jam. All right. Well, folks, we're going to drop your checks now. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to help us out here at Service from Hell, we'd love to have you subscribe, rate, and or review the show wherever you listen. It will help us reach more people that need to be schooled on the art of being kind and will be catharsis for those of us still working in the industry. If you want to get in touch with us here at Service from Hell, send us your receipts at servicefromhellpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Remember, if you can't afford to tip, you can't afford to go out. So don't be garbage and be good to people. It's easier that way. Thanks, Carl Tart. This was so much of your time. I really appreciate you. This was lovely. That's going to be it, folks.
If you can't afford a tip, you can't afford to go out.
Mm-hmm. That's the mantra.
Yeah.
That's going to be it, folks. Good night.
Sure if I have or not. I haven't been sick though.
Oh, you could be asymptomatic, you mean?
I could have been. Yeah, there was. So in January, my trainer told me that he had it, and I remember him having it, but we did. It was before we knew what it was.
Oh, January a year ago?
Yeah, January a year ago.
Ooh.
And we didn't know what it was, but he was like real sick, and he was just like, "Oh, I slept with the heater on," and I'm like, "You've been sick for like 2 weeks. That don't feel like you slept with the heater on type sick." He was like, "Yeah, I slept with the heater on, and then the air, but the window was open." I'm like, "This doesn't." Like, so you telling me the heater burned your throat, or you have a space heater, and it burned your throat?
And that's why you're sick. Okay.
and then like a few months after that, when I started back, when all the numbers kind of went down, and he was like, "I'm doing outdoor training. If you want to," like, I was like, so I started back working out with him, and he was like, "Remember when I was sick in January? Yeah, that was COVID."
Shit.
And so I was like, "Well, I was definitely very much exposed to it." But I just got, at that point we were working, and I just got like regular sick, and everybody at my job was like sick for like a week, the first week of work. So everybody was out. So we had just started it, and everybody was out sick. And then like 2 weeks after that, that's when the rumors started coming, being like, this thing coming from China, it might be over here very soon.
Ooh.
Also, I mean, for the fact that you sit and edit is super professional, so you definitely should be charging people. But
100%. Interested in helping support the growth of this podcast? Thank you so much. Please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/The Kate Gaffney. That's patreon.com/TheKateGaffney.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, okay, you crazy.